Dying Light 2 has failed. Looking back at the game's release, I am unsatisfied with my gaming experience. Now, I know that sounds like something I say all the time, and I do say it a lot. Dying Light 2 was one that I didn't expect to throw me off, because I don't regret my purchase. I'm not saying I was scammed or I shouldn't have bought it for $60, but I sure as hell feel that the game did not succeed. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? I'm Trey, welcome back to a brand new video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let's get right into the video. Around this time last year, I was awaiting Dying Light 2's release. The game was delayed a couple times, and I was nervous it was going to get delayed again. Fortunately, it did not. February 3rd, we were on that shit. The game's first impressions were very solid to me. Parkour system that I was worried about turned out to be really good. Graphics and the optimization of the game were all valid. Co-op was working fine. But what I didn't expect from a sequel to Dying Light is for there to be so many downgrades to the original game. When you think of Dying Light 2, right? It's going to be bigger and better in every single way possible. Dying Light 2 failed to deliver on that. And that's why I'm confidently saying Dying Light 1 was a better game. And that's why it's disappointing. Not that it's bad, but it didn't live up to its predecessor at all. Let's talk about exactly why. First, a major issue with the game is the nighttime. The game is called Dying Light, right? Light dying. A huge hook for the game is how scary the nighttime is in the game. In a minute, Dying Light turns into a horror game at night. Dying Light 2 had none of that shit. The nighttime in Dying Light 2 was way less intense, extremely easy to survive, and was barely different from daytime gameplay. In Dying Light 1, bro, I was a pussy. I slept through every night. I was not fucking with those hours of the day. Dying Light 2, oh, it's nighttime? I don't give a shit. This affected the game tremendously. No longer did you have this dynamic, changing world based on the time of day. It was always the same. That made it feel closer to every other zombie game ever. Literally, it's in the title, Dying Light. That's your whole motto. Yet you fucked up that one feature. Number 2, oh my fucking god. The story is dog shit. Dying Light 2's story is bottom 3 stories I've ever experienced. And it's not 3 or 2. Oh my god, just thinking about the cutscenes makes me want to fall asleep. The story was extremely uninteresting, and there were so many dialogue scenes. Countless. Every time you talk to somebody, they had 15 pages to read off to you. It took 3 minutes to just skip through it. There was no getting around Dying Light 2's story. It slowed down the game's momentum. It made everything feel sluggish. Characters had no relatability, and you didn't give a fuck about them. This is something, once again, Dying Light 1 capitalized on. I still remember Brecken and the characters from Dying Light 1. Dying Light 2 has nobody I give a shit about. One of the negative Steam reviews about the game is talking about how someone would rather curb stomp Lawan than Hitler. And while I can't fully agree, I can say that Lawan deserves to die. You do not have to have an incredible story in a game like Dying Light 2. Dying Light 1's story wasn't incredible, but it was bearable, it was understandable, and it made the game flow. Dying Light 2 felt like a step back from everything they did. The third reason is actually the combat. I hate to say this, but once again, I felt as if the combat was downgraded from the first game. The hitboxes for zombies often didn't feel like it was connecting right. The weapons never felt like they were going into your target, more that they were just slashing past it on the screen. In Dying Light 1, it really felt like you were getting your hammer into that zombie's neck and pulling it out. You could feel the polish of the melee combat. Dying Light 2, it felt closer to every zombie game we know about. And while the new parkour moves were dope and all the new crafting systems were cool, combat just never lived up to the first game. On top of that, removing firearms from the game I felt was unnecessary. I understand, okay, that they're in a post-apocalyptic world and it's like 15 years later and there's no more guns, but that's bullshit. There should still definitely be guns. I understand there being a scarce amount of ammo, but no guns is crazy. A zombie game without guns still feels off. They could have made them super rare, they could have made them super scarce. Removing them entirely was not a good business decision. And lastly, as I won't count this as a full reason, they did technically lie to us. They promised us these really big, world-changing features that never made it to the base game. When I realized that the game didn't contain what they said it would in the trailers, it was disappointing, and it made the decisions that you'd make in the game a lot less impactful. I think that's one of the main reasons it was disappointing as well. These 3 factors, while seeming maybe minor to you, they completely altered the game's experience. Now, there are 100% a ton of features that are way better in Dying Light 2. There's a grapple hook, crazy Easter eggs, the map is bigger, crafting and the shop system are all better, but overall the game failed because when you're making a sequel, you're always trying to make it better than the last thing you made, and it didn't do that, and that's failure. Even to this day, Dying Light 1 still has more players on its game. Why? Because it's better. When I finished Dying Light 1, I kept playing afterwards. There were workshop maps, and I even went through the campaign a couple more times. Dying Light 2, I finished once, and I uninstalled it. Guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know what you think about Dying Light 2 down below in the comments. Do you agree that the game failed because of the reasons I mentioned, or did you think it was actually better than the first game? Without further ado, guys, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Trey, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.